Yuki Tsunoda's performance at the Barcelona Grand Prix has raised serious questions about his role in the Red Bull team. Qualifying in 20th place purely on pace is a massive blow, especially considering Red Bull's high expectations for their second driver. This result doesn't just impact Tsunoda's reputation, it has potential consequences for the Constructors' Championship as well. This isn't the first time the Japanese driver has struggled on the track, and at this point, there's growing speculation that the team might look for a replacement sooner than later. If Red Bull does decide to make a change, the big question is, who could step in? More importantly, would any driver be willing to take on the tough job of being Max Verstappen's teammate? The Barcelona weekend was certainly one to forget for Tsunoda, at least when it came to qualifying. Finishing 20th on raw speed is simply not up to the mark for someone in his position. Verstappen is consistently fighting at the front, carrying much of the team's hopes for the championship. Meanwhile, Tsunoda appears to be on a downward trend. Over the triple header of races leading up to Barcelona, he didn't manage to reach the final qualifying session even once. At Imola, he had a serious crash damaging the car, and in Monaco, he was knocked out early despite weaker competition around him. But Barcelona might have been the most disappointing. The conditions were perfect. No rain, no traffic, just clean track. And yet Tsunoda posted the slowest time on the entire grid during qualifying. Remarkably, he even said he was satisfied with his lap, which left many scratching their heads. Clearly, there were ongoing issues from the free practice sessions that hinted at a difficult weekend ahead. But 20th place is a shocker given his experience. Tsunoda is in his 6th year in Formula One and has been with the team for 5 seasons, yet failing to make it to the last qualifying stage reflects poorly on his development and future prospects. After his tough qualifying session in Barcelona, Yuki Tsunoda opened up about the difficulties he faced all weekend. He said the week was challenging because the car just didn't grip properly. Starting from the first practice session, he noticed strange problems that the team struggled to fix. Despite numerous adjustments, the car never seemed to respond the way he needed it to. This lack of confidence in the setup made it hard for him to push the limits. Yuki admitted that no matter what changes were made, the feeling never improved. He described it as a frustrating situation where every attempt to fix the issue ended up causing new problems. He was left feeling demotivated and unsure about his performance potential. What made things worse was the gap between him and his teammate Max Verstappen, who consistently outpaced him by over a second during qualifying. For a driver aiming to keep their place in such a competitive team, being that far behind is not a good sign. The general expectation is to be within a few tenths of the lead driver, but Yuki's distance from Max was far beyond that mark. Looking ahead to the race, hopes weren't high for Tsunoda to make a big impact based purely on speed. His struggles were clear and public, leading to questions from fans and experts alike about whether he can improve enough to hold on to his spot. Team insiders have acknowledged the pressure he's under. Being Verstappen's teammate is widely regarded as one of the hardest jobs in Formula One. Despite the difficulties, some voices in the paddock believe Yuki still has potential. He has scored points in several races and shown flashes of speed at times. But if he wants to continue in this role, he'll need to find a way to consistently deliver better performances. The team has promised to support him, focusing on helping Yuki find a car setup that builds his confidence. After all, driving at this level is as much about feeling comfortable and trusting the car as it is about raw speed. Despite the challenges, the Red Bull camp seems willing to give Tsunoda some time to improve. They acknowledge that the young driver has had moments of strong performance and believe he can still find his rhythm. However, the pressure is mounting quickly. Red Bull is in a tight fight in the Constructors' Championship, and every point matters. One striking detail from Barcelona was how much slower Yuki was compared to Verstappen. The gap of over a second during qualifying is a big concern, because the team expected the two drivers to be much closer. The goal was for Yuki to be no more than 3/10 behind Max, to keep his position secure, and falling well outside that range puts his future with the team at risk. In previous races, Tsunoda managed to earn a few points, including a sprint race finish in China that boosted his tally. Still, some believe he could have scored more if the team's strategy had worked better. These missed opportunities only add to the uncertainty about his role moving forward. Since Pierre Gasly left Red Bull in 2018, the team hasn't had a second driver challenging Verstappen seriously. Sergio Perez came close for a while, but his challenge faded early in the season. Yuki's recent form has reignited the conversation about who should fill that tough spot alongside Max. Rumors are already swirling about potential replacements. Some point to promising drivers like Isaac Hadjar, who has been impressive in junior series and has proven consistent in qualifying and races. The French driver has outpaced teammates and earned praise from the team, making him a strong candidate to step up if a change is made. Still, Red Bull's approach to young drivers has been harsh. The team has a reputation for high expectations and quick decisions when things don't go well. They've moved on from other young talents like Lawson under similar pressures. This makes it clear that Tsunoda's place isn't guaranteed. It's clear Red Bull demands top-level results from its drivers, especially the second seat next to Verstappen. The team's track record with young drivers shows they don't hesitate to make tough calls if someone isn't meeting expectations. Tsunoda has faced these pressures firsthand, and now his spot feels increasingly uncertain. Some suggest that maybe the car's performance isn't helping the young driver as much as it should. But in a team as strong as Red Bull, drivers are expected to get the most out of whatever they have. When you see how others in similar machinery perform, it's natural to question if it's more about the driver than the car. Meanwhile, the team faces a tricky situation. They want a proven winner beside Verstappen to keep challenging for the constructors' title, but top drivers are rarely available to fill such a demanding role. This leaves Red Bull weighing options between giving time to promising youngsters or taking a safer bet with an experienced racer. The pressure on Tsunoda is enormous. He's had flashes of talent, but they haven't yet come together in a way that convinces the team to fully back him long-term. Experts and fans are watching closely to see if he can turn things around or if Red Bull will look elsewhere. One thing is certain: the upcoming races will be critical. How Tsunoda performs could determine not only his future with Red Bull, but also impact the team's standing in the championship battle. If he continues struggling, the door will likely open for other drivers waiting in the wings. The reality is that Tsunoda has only scored a handful of points since joining Red Bull as the second driver. With 2 points in Bahrain, 4 in Miami, and a single point at Imola, his contributions haven't been enough to ease the team's worries. In addition to those, he earned 3 points in the sprint race in China, which was a rare bright spot. But overall, his results have fallen short of what's expected in such a competitive environment. It's worth remembering that Tsunoda has now participated in 6 races as a Red Bull driver and is entering his 7th weekend with the team. For a driver with this much experience at this level, the lack of consistent strong finishes puts him under the microscope. Looking back, it's possible that some missed points came down to strategy calls that didn't go his way, rather than purely his driving. But in Formula One, every detail counts, and the pressure is on both driver and team to make the most of every race. Since Daniel Ricciardo left Red Bull in 2018, the team hasn't had a reliable second driver who could challenge Verstappen or make a major impact in the standings. Perez was close in 2022 but couldn't sustain his challenge beyond the first few races. That context only adds to the expectations placed on Tsunoda. Interestingly, recent comparisons with Liam Lawson, who also started races from 20th place, highlight how much preparation time can affect performance. Lawson had less time to adapt to his role, which suggests that some of the blame might lie with experience and adjustment periods. Looking ahead, the big question remains: who will be the driver sitting alongside Verstappen? Isaac Hajar appears to be a strong contender. He has shown solid pace and consistency, earning praise from many within the team and the wider paddock. His performances in junior categories and recent races suggest he could be ready to step up if Red Bull decides to make a change. However, the team faces a tough decision. Red Bull's history shows they expect instant results, especially from the second driver. Changing drivers too often can disrupt team dynamics and affect overall performance. On the other hand, keeping someone who struggles could cost the team valuable points in the constructors' battle. Carlos Sainz's recent comments shed some light on Red Bull's thinking. He revealed that talks with the team didn't lead to a deal, hinting that Red Bull is focused on other priorities. This highlights how difficult it is to secure experienced talent willing to take on the challenge of racing alongside Verstappen. For Tsunoda, the path forward isn't easy. He has shown moments of speed and skill, but needs to string them together consistently. The next few races will be crucial for his future with the team, and in Formula One as a whole. So, what's your take on Yuki's season so far? Do you believe he has what it takes to bounce back and contribute meaningfully to Red Bull's title ambitions? Share your thoughts in the comments below. While you're at it, check out the video on your screen for more updates and insights.